Imagine a scenario. You are sitting in a room, watching the steam rise from the coffee on the table, listening to the patter of rain outside the window, and reaching out to touch the rough paper of a book. Could these real feelings be nothing but illusions of your consciousness? How can you be sure that the coffee, the rain, the book, and even the people around you are not false images constructed in your mind? This seemingly absurd, yet impossible to fully refute question is the core proposition of the philosophical concept of solipsism. Unlike materialism, which emphasizes the primacy of matter, or idealism, which acknowledges the coexistence of consciousness and the external world, solipsism, with its extreme egocentric perspective, draws a controversial cognitive boundary between self-consciousness and external reality. From Descartes, I think. Therefore I am to modern debates about virtual reality. From doubts about other minds to inquiries into the nature of reality, solipsism tells the eternal confusion of humanity regarding how to confirm the reality of the world through every doubt about the reliability of cognition, every exploration of the essence of existence, and every reflection on the boundaries of the self. Solipsism is not a single viewpoint, but rather consists of three progressive core claims. From the boundaries of cognition to the essence of existence, gradually building a philosophical system that posits self-consciousness as the sole reality. The first claim of solipsism focuses on the reliability of cognition. It holds that all human cognition of the world must be realized through self-consciousness. The colors we see, the sounds we hear, the textures we touch are essentially the result of the brain processing sensory signals, since the senses themselves can be deceptive such as hallucinations and dreams. The reality of the external world cannot be directly verified. For example, when you see a red apple, red is the subjective perception of light reflected by your visual system, while the shape of the apple is a combined judgment of vision and touch, all of which exist within your consciousness. You cannot be certain whether, beyond the red apple in your mind, there exists a real apple independent of your consciousness. Perhaps this apple is just an illusion in your dream, or perhaps a virtual signal created for you by a supercomputer, like in the movie The Matrix, but you can never step outside your own consciousness to directly verify the existence of the external world. Solipsism emphasizes that all cognition of the external world is essentially cognition of the contents of self-consciousness. Therefore, self-consciousness is the only object of cognition that can be confirmed to exist, and the reality of the external world remains doubtful. Building on this cognitive claim, solipsism further proposes the core idea of the existential dimension. Not only does cognition of the external world depend on self-consciousness, but the existence of the external world itself may be a product of self-consciousness. Apart from the consciousness of myself, nothing else can be proven to be real. The logic of this view is that we cannot prove the existence of other consciousness. You can observe the words and actions of others, such as a friend's smile or the caring expressions of family, but these are merely external behaviors. You cannot directly perceive their subjective consciousness. You don't know whether a friend's smile truly stems from a feeling of happiness, or whether a family member's caring truly stems from a sense of love. These may all be fabricated behaviors constructed by your consciousness to make the world seem more reasonable. Even more extreme solipsism holds that the entire world is a dream or illusion created by my consciousness. When I wake up, the world may disappear. When I cease to exist, the entire universe will cease to exist. This view may seem absurd, but it is logically difficult to completely refute. This is because any refuting evidence, such as other people's testimony or data from scientific experiments, ultimately needs to be received and understood through my consciousness. It is essentially still part of the content of consciousness, and cannot serve as direct proof of the independent existence of the external world. The third level of solipsism extends to the ethical realm. Since only the consciousness of I is truly real, only its feelings, needs, and interests have true ethical value. The pain or happiness of others, because it cannot be proven to be real conscious feelings, is therefore of questionable ethical significance. For example, when you see someone in pain, the solipsist will question, how can you be sure that their pain is real? Perhaps it's just a painful scene constructed in your mind, and they themselves don't experience actual pain. Therefore, in ethical choices, solipsists may prioritize self-conscious comfort and satisfaction over the feelings of others because, for them, only their own conscious feelings are the definitive basis for judging good and evil. It's important to emphasize that most philosophers do not agree with this extreme ethical claim. It is discussed more as a logical possibility than as an ethical principle guiding real-world behavior. Solipsism, this seemingly extreme, even absurd, philosophical concept, does not urge us to believe that the world exists only within our own consciousness. Instead, it urges us to maintain a respect for the boundaries of cognition, to contemplate the essence of reality, and to reflect on the relationship between self and the world. Like a mirror, reveals the limitations of human cognition, and reminds us, while pursuing objective truth, we must not neglect the value of subjective consciousness. While doubting the external world, we must not abandon our emotional connections with others. Perhaps, we will never be able to fully resolve the questions raised by solipsism. We cannot prove the absolute reality of the external world, nor can we deny the centrality of self-consciousness. However, it is precisely this unsolvable question that drives humanity to continuously explore the boundaries of cognition, to constantly ponder the meaning of existence, and to find our own cognitive balance between doubt and belief.